The Uganda we want. So mu Uganda gye twagala mu lutalo luno olw'okulwanyisa obulabbayo obukenuzi nze kyempita obuvundu. Munna Uganda alina okuba nga yeenyigiramu.
Ffenna twenyigire mu lutalo.
Ate abalala tebasomye kuzimba wabula bayize okuzimba.
Uganda gye twagala okulaba ng'enguudo zonna nkole nungi, public transport nga weeri.
Kati eno gavumenti eriwo erina akabonero ka Lucifer. Buli kyotunulako mu Uganda kiriko oxygen. Either babika amawulire malungi oba mawulire mabi. Minisita teyeetaagisa kabangali budde buno zaaki.
At this time, why should somebody import the furniture from outside Uganda? Let us leave NRM to be in charge for another 36 years or more.
I really want to see a Uganda that believes in the rule of law. If you have a constitution in place, follow it to the letter. Don't change laws just because you want them to favor you.
Kuba njagala omanye nti obugagga bwonna Uganda bwe yeeyagaliramu buyita waffe ku ttaka lyaffe. Naye busoga mugidibaze.
How can a referral hospital refer you to a private clinic? The Uganda we want buli muntu ateekwa okumanya nti I am a stakeholder, nkwatibwako si kwesuulirayo gwa naggamba.
Uganda oyinza okukakana nga mwe mulina bagraduates aba university nga bangi okusinga ebungereza. Mwe mufokasinga nnyo ku degree. Eri bo bafokasinga nnyo nti byensomye mbijjeemu omulimu n'enkola.
We are dreaming of a Uganda where at a young age there is such a relationship between parent and son, parent and daughter, where the daughter can say this is what I want.
Uganda gye twagala empya tesobola kubeerawo nga tewali mateeka. Amateeka agakola.
The Uganda we want. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the program, The Uganda we want. My name is Mulanzi. I'm so honored to bring you this program, the edition of The Uganda we want tonight. And our guest today is Professor Juma Wasswa Balunywa. In Buganda here we say Omulongo, Juma Balunywa. He is one of the Uganda's most distinguished economists, educator, and as well a financier. So when you talk about economics, you can't separate from finances. For over 3 decades, he served as the principal of Makerere University Business School, where I happen to have one of his signature on my certificates. I am so honored a student is hosting his professor. And he played a very vital role in transforming business education and promoting entrepreneurship in Uganda. As well, allow me emphasize this point. Where I got his signature from the certificate I got where he has his signature was an incubation center. It was where business ideas are being cooked, and after being cooked, they are now served to the nation. Yeah, so this is very key. He's also the founder of Wasswa Balunywa Foundation, through which he has championed education, leadership development, and community health. In fact, when we bumped into his home, he was already making sure that his health is very stable, that Uganda can enjoy to have him for many, many years. And I know you'll have time to talk about that. And of course, including establishment of what we call the AKB Memorial Hospital in Iganga district. Today, we are really privileged and honored to hear his thoughts, especially on leadership, on education, and entrepreneurship, and of course, and the future of our country, Uganda. Professor, you're most welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Greet our viewers.
Thank you very much. Good evening, viewers, or good morning, wherever you are. And I want to thank you for having me on this show. I hope that I too can learn, especially from the questions that normally come up, but enabling me to share my experience, what I know, and my proposals to me is an honor. Thank you for honoring me.
Well, and allow us as the Uganda, we want to congratulate you for the president for having appointed you to be a member on the Central Executive Committee of the National Resistance Movement.
It's indeed a privilege to serve. It's a privilege to serve, yes. And I thank the president for that. Yes.
Yeah. Well, Professor, let's talk about the future of Uganda. And the question I have is, when you imagine about the Uganda we want in the next 20 years, what does it look like? What must change for us to get there?
The Uganda we want should be a Uganda where people are enjoying a high standard of living. A high standard of living means they have food on their table, they can pay school fees for their children, they have a nice accommodation, possibly a car, they have all these modern gadgets, and they are eating well. That is the future I would envisage for this country. Yes.
How do we get there? Because yes, it's one thing to envision and another thing to get there.
Yeah, of course, if you see what is happening right now, if you do a situation analysis right now, Uganda's population is about 50 million people, and the GDP is hardly 30 trillion US dollars. So we're poor. We're very poor. If you look at the other statistics that is available, 80% of the population in the country lives in rural areas. That means they are producing for self-consumption. They are not in the mainstream economy. That's why you find that government have been talking about monetizing the economy. It's a very serious thing they want to do. If you don't monetize those people, they'll continue to be poor. Because
and they'll become a burden.
Yeah, they are indeed a burden. Yes, for right now. And if you look at the development indicators in terms of the people who have access to electricity in the country, I think it's on average 22%.
Yeah.
So you have that whole population without access to electricity. When you look at education, you need to check out and find that when 100 people register in P1, by the time they're in P7, they're only 30.
The 70 is gone.
Yeah,
and we don't know where and how.
They are in the rural areas, they are in urban areas, they are illiterate and they are poor. So this is the situation we have at the moment. We have a huge number of people who are illiterate, who are poor, have no access to electricity, have no jobs, and they still produce, on small farms for self-consumption. Somebody is producing maize, potatoes, beans, all that, by himself, herself. It's not viable economically.
Yeah, Professor, could you take us briefly back, maybe 20 years back? How was the situation, and where do you think probably we've gone wrong?
Of course, the population was smaller, so there were less people who were poorer. I mean, try and look at a population of. I'm going to use an example which is not very good, but look at South Africa. There are 5 million whites, wealthy, 40 million blacks, poor. Now, look at Japan. For the last possibly 50 years or so, the population is on average 110 million people. And they are very wealthy people. It hasn't changed much. In fact, the fear is that the population of Japan may start reducing. And yet, this is one of the richest countries in the world. So you need to, population is good because it's a big market. But if it is not educated, it's a burden to the economy. And those uneducated people, those illiterate people, will be your nightmare, you young people. Oh, yes.
Wow.
Yes.
We need to do something there.
You need to do something there. But we need to act. The government of Uganda has acted. I mean, President Museveni has done tremendously, has done a lot in terms of economic policy. But there are some gaps.
Yeah, some gaps.
Yeah, some gaps which I feel need to be, filled.
Yeah, and you see, talking about the education, and I know your passion is so much there, and I would love us actually to dive into that, and you help us. But before I actually pose the question to you, statistics show that 80% of Ugandans are able to read and write. I don't know if that is enough when it comes to...
It's not enough.
It's not enough.
Yes.
If it's not enough, if you
and
had
they speak good English. Yes.
If you had the opportunity, Professor, to redesign Uganda's education system today, what are the things you would change?
Well, first of all, why is a large number of people illiterate? Because they don't have the money to pay the school fees, despite UPE and USC. Two, the upbringing is changing. The family system is dead. And if the family system is dead, then parenting is a problem. So we have a big problem on these young girls, 12, 13, 14, delivering babies. I actually think they don't deliver babies, they deliver poverty. And by the time they are 28, they are grandmothers. Their children have also, because it's poverty. They are in poor conditions.
It is a vicious circle,
yes.
as we used to call it in
economics. So what do you need to do in the education sector? If you look at a country like Finland, possibly with the best education system in the world.
Finland?
Yeah, Finland. Japan, and I think Korea, South Korea, they have wonderful education systems. They don't have exams.
Oh.
No.
So that makes their education system to be one of the best?
One of the best, yes. It's proven. I mean, go out and Google it and see. Now, what would I do? I've talked about this a bit sensitive, but I would remove primary leaving exams and ordinary leaving exams.
Why?
Why do you need them? What are they for?
Want to prove them that they are able to join the next
join
level.
What?
The next level.
Which level?
The secondary level. I think that's because I went through it.
Yes,
like they were testing me to see.
We've gone through it.
Yeah, I can join.
And we still believe that you need exams. You don't need these exams at that level. You need to have children spend 12 years in school. About 12 years in school. Because I think they join when they have 6 years, 6 or 7. So plus 12, that's 18 years. By the time somebody is 18 years, that person is mature. But when you get this child who is 6 leaving primary at the age 12, 13, you have a problem with the economy. What do you do with a girl who has left P7 and does not go ahead? Because you have exams. You have a 3-hour exam to determine the fate of an individual.
Before you do it, actually, you're already on tension. And that's why we came up with the words like examination fever.
So if you remove that and ensure that Uganda's children have 12 years in school, plus the 6, that's 18 years. By the time they get out, not only will they be more literate, but they're more mature to take decisions. And I'm sure you know, girls who join the university, give birth at about 24, 25, 26. And they, how many children do they have? 1.5 children, 2, 3, 10, average, you know?
Yeah.
But this child who left P7, or who didn't reach P7, if they're coming together, by that time she has 5 children. And that's poverty. That's a sign of poverty. So I would recommend removing those examinations, those silos, primary, O level. It's possible. Psychologists have been able to study the evolution of a human being, the knowledge you acquire with time as you get educated. So right now, you do your O level, you do your PLE, you join secondary school. PLE, you're doing 4 subjects. You join secondary school and you do about 10. But what does secondary school do? They simply expand those the 4. Yeah. They expand the 4, and then A level, you now narrow down on something. And when you go to university, you actually narrow down further. You know? You see? You studied, say, economics, O level, A level, you know, so much. You go to university, you actually study more, but you don't study all the other subjects you're studying, but you're concentrating on one subject. So it's possible that teachers who are teaching these young people in school can find out the abilities of a student. Are you science-oriented? Are you arts-oriented? You know? It's possible for you to determine, to know who you are, your strengths, your weaknesses, your abilities.
Regardless of the benefits that are being given to some or something, but you need to find out what you...
So these, you remove these, go reform the primary curriculum, or the way the subjects are put together. You know, SST, you know what it means? Social studies. What does it constitute? Go and start offering those courses, you know, at the right levels, and you continue with them. It's a matter of how many years you spend studying something. So at some stage you will drop those areas where you lack passion or you lack ability. Some people love mathematics, they will continue with it. Some people hate it, they should drop it at some stage, you know, but they should get the rudimentary knowledge in it, which they ordinarily get when they are in primary school, you know. So it's then that we now say, you finish 12 years in school, how do you proceed? I would take the best in science and put them into university.
The best?
Yeah.
Then what will you do for those who are not the best?
You know, you can't take everybody. Science, you need 3 types of people. You need the technician, you need the technologist, and you need the scientist. An engineer, call him a scientist. A doctor, medical doctor, call him a scientist. But you have technologists. Those are people who are able, who understand both the subject matter and the technology involved in it. Like somebody who is operating this equipment, radiologist, whatever it is. So then the technician's knowledge is not as advanced as that of a technologist. They will be there to repair the machines, make sure the machines are working well. So your technicians should be people who have finished the 12 years and they go to do a diploma in a certain area. Yeah.
Because when you bring them, they're able to apply what they have learned.
But right now, the children who don't pass P7, you know what they do? Bagenze mu course.
We normally say that.
Gendo course. And you are sending them to nursing, you are sending them to technology. You are taking those who have not passed into your best, into sciences. That's a problem.
And we have another big problem, Professor.
Yes.
We already have you may call them entrepreneurs as a businessman, but they target them as well and start up education institutions to tap them. They know the system of Uganda does not welcome such failures. Let's have them this side.
So I think it is wrong. And this changed in the early 1960s. I don't know what the British wanted us to do. Because the best countries today that are transforming, Germany, China, Japan, South Korea, Malaysia, Singapore, they have put emphasis on science education. And the president has been saying it. You know, it's just that the manifestation of his ideas has not taken place.
Yeah, or probably he's speaking to the deaf and a few blind ones. Yeah, because what you're saying, Professor, is if Finland is developing so fast as you've explained, and you're not issuing exams, why don't we?
You can have exams after 12 years.
Yeah.
But still, as a teacher, I have capacity. You know, in the university, there is something called coursework. And I think in Makerere, we are taking it for the master's degrees. We took it 40%. So 60% is the 3-hour exam. But imagine you've been studying for the whole year, and they examine you in 3 hours, and they say you failed.
Yeah.
Well, the same thing for O-level, for A-level, PLE. There is a problem there. There should be more internal assessment. You know? The teachers should examine the students more internally. You know, engage with them, get them in discussions, get them to go and do field work and report. You know, rather than sit in a 3-hour exam. Yeah.
What is your view on the new curriculum? And well, some have said very good, but I want to hear from you, Professor. One, on two things. One, did we really start up this at the right stage?
I think it was long overdue. What I've noted, associating with schools, is that we're not prepared for it adequately. So we're managing. Gradually we shall get there. The new curriculum, which is competency-based, is trying to remove, actually, if it was implemented well, you don't need exams, this 3-hour exam. Because you have a competency. You have a skill. Competency is an ability. It's a skill.
You can do it.
You can do something.
Yeah.
Now, the challenges are, not all subjects are doable. Yeah. I mean, I can do a mathematics equation. I can go to the lab and demonstrate, you know, Bunsen burner, all this stuff. But how would I demonstrate geography? How would I demonstrate history? You know, there are areas like that where, but I'm sure it will be overcome with time, especially if there is follow-up, which is research-based. Yes.
So currently, do you think we are doing that, or still there are gaps that have to be filled?
We are, let me use the word, we are struggling to implement the policy, which is a good policy, like I said, because it involves a student. You stop cramming. You know, the student will stop cramming. I studied in India, and there are Indians who never studied. They don't come. They come to university. They are riding bicycles. They are doing all this stuff, riding motorbikes, riding cars, making fun, and they never study. Towards the end of exams, they go to get their kind of cassettes. You know, they read that, prepare the exams, and they go to the exam, and they pass.
Wow!
But they have not studied. That's why exams are not really a very good way of testing people's abilities. Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, Professor, I hear you very well.
Yes.
But still, there's something that I really would love to hear from you more, especially on this issue of education. If take an example, there's something I've really I've been observing when it comes to our education system. You find someone comes out of university, but is unable, when the employers are complaining that these people, they are unable to implement what they have studied, what they have learned. And you have been a principal, you've been producing half-baked graduates.
No, don't use that word. Don't use that.
It's what the East African...
It's not true. Let us understand education. Education imparts knowledge. Some of the knowledge is theoretical. Yes. Some of the knowledge is practical. A medical student, why does a medical student do internship? Because by the time he starts practicing, actual practicing, he should have seen that dead body. He should have seen that surgery. He should have been able to see certain practical things. Why does the engineer have to do the practical? Because it's important. You see, a medical doctor has skills of looking at you and feeling your body and knowing you have a temperature, you have a fever. That fever could be either malaria or an infection. Now, he has to go ahead and examine it.
And find out. Now, a medical student who gets the theory will take a much longer time to actually become a good doctor. And when they make mistakes, it is fatal. Yeah.
You know? So let that medical student do internship. Now, compare that to a student who is doing political science. And you are studying Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King, John F. Kennedy. Where is the practice? What is the practice you're looking for? So it's important to understand that universities have got different subjects. Some of those subjects are conceptual. Some subjects are both conceptual and practical. Where they are both conceptual and practical, the student should be able to do an internship. Not this one we are doing at the moment. I don't agree with that one.
No,
I don't agree with it. The internship done by medical students, by journalists, by engineers, it's okay. It's essential. Now, you don't expect a student who has learned concepts to be able to get to job and is running. No. It's also quite experience. You have to acquire experience. So don't expect a fresh university graduate to be able to hit the road running. No, it's wrong. This person, what you've done is developed his thinking ability. You've developed his reasoning ability. And when you get into the workplace, this person should be trained.
At the workplace?
At the workplace. And it is called coaching. Sitting beside John. So it's unfortunate that people expect a fresh graduate to be able to hit the road running.
What I normally hear from employers and people is this, Professor.
Yes.
That, okay, yes, as you've explained, we don't expect them to do it the way Mulans is doing it. He's been in media for a long time. Yeah. But at least they are what we call the basics. Professor, you find someone does not even know how to set that camera up, but is a graduate. Now, whom should we blame for that? The person, the graduate, or the system that graduated him or her. Yeah, because I hear that a lot, Professor. And I'm so passionate about it, and I feel bad.
Well, not all people are the same. You know, not all people are the same. You will find some people who are very good. Now, in any setting, people have exposure to the same knowledge, same concepts, same practical experience, and they still act differently. You know? So to me, my advice to employers is that when you recruit people from the university, first of all, lower your expectations. Your expectations is that these people have the ability to pick up things much more quickly than somebody who didn't go into the university. You see, I talked about a technician, a technologist, and the scientist. Now, the scientist should be able to understand things much more quickly. And where they give skills like in terms of medicine, engineering, those skills are still limited in nature. Internship for a medical student for 1 year does not qualify that person to be a skilled doctor. No, it doesn't. You may find, for instance, that a nurse who has been at it for 10 years may have more knowledge than a medical doctor who was just graduated.
Yeah.
But with time, because this medical doctor has concepts which the other person doesn't have, has a better reasoning capacity, this person is going to take off much more quickly than the nurse. So it's not, yes, there are some half-baked people. They don't attend class. They wait for exams, sit exams, and you know they don't participate in anything in the university, and they get out when they're really raw, but they've passed. You know, yeah, those are half-baked. But it's not a policy of the university
that they produce half-baked graduates.
No.
Okay, no, I think that is very clear because a few years ago, reports were coming, especially they were done on East African universities, and that's what came out. I'm like, when I get a chance to meet Professor, I must ask him if he's behind the production
of half-baked.
graduates.
We try, and of course, out of 100 students that you train, you know we have what they call a normal distribution curve. A small number are excellent. The big number is in between there. There are some who useless.
Yeah.
What happens?
So the increasing number, talk about increasing number of universities in Uganda doing it, does it have to be like that?
Well,
doesn't it shock you?
No, well, the country opened up in terms of the policy of this country is free market economics. Whoever wants to do something can do it, and you will see them closing. If you can't compete, you close. Now, the private universities, unless if they are possibly established as organizations by guarantee, that is non-profit oriented, which means they have some source of income from somewhere. If you establish a university today in this country, which is for profit, it won't last very long. No. There is not much money in education like that.
Like on the university level. But down here, no,
even then, it's,
down here, Professor, secondary, primary, we are at a point where...
And you know, these are the reforms I would want to talk about. This country should have a good, comprehensive plan to transform education. Today, I went to boarding school in primary, but my father was able. There are schools here. I'll show them to you on my phone. The fees is 5 million shillings a term.
Per child?
Per child. That's crazy.
It is.
5 million shillings. But the uniform is 1 million shillings.
Wow. Do they
Now,
export them from?
I don't know.
From UK.
I'm not sure that we are taking children there. Yes, there. And those people making money, they're wrecking money. The owners of such a school, they're wrecking money. The reforms we need, if I removed PLE and I said the child should stay in school for 12 years, I should put emphasis on day schooling. Yeah, I know many parents.
I'm
a product of a boarding school. I know what it is, but I'm saying the majority of Ugandans can't afford it. I have a very interesting case. I support some children in a UPE school, and they pay some 25,000 shillings a term. The mothers can't afford this.
Have you said the mothers?
Yeah.
You would have said the father.
No, I said deliberately.
Yeah, that's why I'm also keen on it deliberately.
Yes, because what is happening today is that we are increasingly having single parent families. That girl who didn't get to P7, trace that girl. She didn't get to P7. She dropped out in P5 when she was 10 years old. So what did she do? She stayed in the village. When puberty calls, she'll have sex. And invariably, she'll get pregnant. And she had a baby. And I've told you that...
What she calls baby, you're saying?
I'm calling it poverty.
Yeah.
Now, this girl, the father, possibly is 15 years old. Or she may be a victim of a 20-year-old rape, a 30-year-old rape. Now, tell me of a family where the father is 15 years old, the girl is 13 years old. Even their capabilities of working, this is child labor, if they worked. So, this is what we must avoid to get to that standard of living I was talking about. That's why these children must stay in school.
Remove some of them actually drop out because they fear that exam. Like, I don't think I'll...
No, there are many reasons. The reason for dropping out is poverty. They don't have that 25,000. Two is poor bringing because the father is not there. You know?
And the father that is there is drunkard.
Yeah, or is drunkard. Parenting, you know, when I say upbringing, there's parenting in there is a big problem. Absent parents, you know. I've seen children going to school in the same dirty uniform for the whole week or even 2 weeks.
Yeah, that should be an issue of the parents. Where are they? How can your child go to school in a dirty uniform for a week?
The parent has gone to the market at 5 a.m.
Yeah,
to make money, to live, to be able to produce food. And this is something we need to address. So I would have, when I remove that, if you remove the silos, PLE, UCE, and you want the child to spend 12 years in school, make sure that the parents, I will talk about it a little bit later on, but we are saying they can't afford boarding. So let them have day schools. So government, in its thinking, in its plan, must look in the long term to day schools. There's nothing wrong with boarding schools. They can hang around as long as people can afford them.
But if you're saying if we can't afford them,
the majority of people cannot afford boarding schools. No, they can't.
True.
Yeah. So what do? Make sure the day schools are good. Make sure the school program is good. Make sure the children are engaged meaningfully in the day school.
And I think, Professor, a day schooling now is possible for one reason, that you may add, or advise me. We have many schools now. Schools are close. It's not like our time.
But still, they're not enough.
Well, but I think we can have more.
Yeah, there are more, but they're not enough. We can still have
But at least
more.
they are closer. Compared to our time.
Yes, I
used to walk like 8 to 10 kilometers.
This still happens in some villages. Government has tried to have a school at every county level, parish level. Still trying.
But you're talking about to government, but there's no private, as you said. Private schools,
private schools. Private schools are very expensive. Yeah, they are very expensive.
Well,
but you see, government has done what they call a seed school. It's still trying, but it doesn't have enough money to put things in place.
Okay, in a free market economy, Professor, let me bring up this issue of the private, the private sector.
Yeah.
When it comes to education, not even talking about the health. Let's start with the education. Do you think there's a way what we can do to say that, these private schools and entrepreneurs and investors really are being at least put down a bit? Otherwise,
no, I think the thing,
making education look crazy.
What to do is for government to increase the number of seed schools.
Oh.
Yes. Because government is not a business. Government's role is to ensure that the people get a service. So the very poor should go in the government schools, UPE. And let us improve UPE. Simple as that. Let the private schools be there. Because the private school means you have a source of income to be able to pay that. So you're well off. Go and have your... But then for universities, it's very different. For universities, government disarmed private universities. How? Government is paying a salary of 7 million shillings to a lecturer in a government department. Whether the university is making money or not, that money is coming from government. Okay? In the private universities, you have to make that money.
Yeah.
And it's not possible to make that money.
Yeah. One, you have competition to get students.
Yes.
Parents are poor.
And then the regulations.
The regulation, yeah.
You need a 10-to-1 in terms of student staff ratios enforced by National Council for Education to ensure that we have standards. So, I mean, the private universities, some of them are going to die out, naturally, because they just can't afford it. It's normal in strategy. We call it it's competition, and this kind of competition is where the weak ones are churned out. They leave because they can't afford. They're not making the profit to continue. So if you're a private university and you're intending to make money, it's going to be very difficult for you to continue when you can't afford to pay lecturers. Yeah.
Well, as we conclude our first episode, Professor, and of course we are concluding with education, parents could be asking, really, what is the real point? One is to give us one point of imparting knowledge. Is that all that I should yearn for education?
No. It's Mandela who said education is the foundation for development. When you join the university, let me talk about my time as in the university. I discovered many things. For instance, in my first years in the university, I had no contact with the student. It was the class, and that was it. But with time, I realized that it's important for you to have contact with the student. do students have sports facilities? So that, they can also look at their physical health. Do students have sufficient medical facilities? Because when you're in Makerere, you will never know that that's an issue. It's for the dean of students. But in MUBS, I realized that it's important for you to have excellent health facilities for students. I also realized that students must be developed as leaders. So we developed a leadership center to try and help students to develop as leaders, prepare them for leadership. And I'm sure you'll know that a large number of MUBS students are in parliament, they are in government, they are serving, and they are excellent. PSST, the Chief Justice, all these are MUBS people, the former Speaker of Parliament, so there's need to develop beyond simply the education. Because when you are home, your parents will tell you what to do, parenting. When you go to the university takes up a parenting role. But do we know it? Yeah, do we know it?
Question.
Yeah. So you will find, for instance, that if you look back 10 years, I have a personal relationship with the Guild presidents. Because I was parenting. Somebody asked me a question. I normally post on my status. Omwidukulu. You know what a mwidukulu means in Luswaga is a grandchild. Even last night I posted one. And people are congratulating me. But this is a child of one of my former students who was in the Guild. I mean, we have that parental role, So it's important to know that it's not only about education. There's a parenting role. There is also, for instance, the usage of drugs in universities has been increasing. It's a counseling role.
You may not, I mean, when you back at them, they may not stop.
They may not stop.
They may not stop, they just actually increase.
Yeah. So, if you go into universities, I don't know how MUBS is right now, but we had this concept of no plastic bottles on the campus. And so for the student, when you see something plastic, you should be conscious. But we don't teach that in the classroom. Yes.
But what you're saying, let's end with this actually. The producer is telling me, please, you need to finish the first episode. But producer, give me just 2 minutes. Professor, I don't want us to leave out of this. You said when you are at university, you discovered a number of things, and one of them is you as a teacher, you as a professor, you play a parenting role.
Yes.
What could be your message to the nation and to those who are in your profession as teachers? Yes, many teachers have the knowledge, they are qualified, but it seems what you're saying is beyond just get the qualification or being called a teacher. And how can we blend in that to say that at least what you do, we have more Balunywas who are doing it?
Yeah, I think, of course, this depends on the leadership. If the leadership realizes that there is need to assist the student to become better, because the performance of a student who is using drugs is low. The performance of a student who has got HIV/AIDS is low. So these are challenges that prevent and even love relationships. You find students who, because they've been in relationships, they've been dating, they've broken up, and they don't study. So it's important that in the education institutions, this parenting role is also taken up in various ways and is formalized. Yes.
Okay, should be formalized.
Formalized, yes.
Okay.
Secondary school is a bit there, but still not formalized.
Yeah.
But I believe that even in universities, those extra things that should be done to ensure that the student is performing well should be formalized.
Should be formalized.
Yes.
Wow.
I have a session I do on online Zoom, what they don't teach you at the university. Yeah, that's it.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, Professor, thank you so much for sharing with us your ideas when it comes to the education sector. And of course, in the bigger picture of the Uganda you want to see. We are going to have you in the second episode.
Thank you.
Our viewers and our listeners, let's keep it right here. We will be right back with the second episode. My name is Mulanzi. Bye-bye.